Galen, we'll start with you. Just how did it, first of all, feel to be out there? And second of all, what do you think the offense was just so disjointed here today?
Before Caitlin answers this, I want you to understand the question that the reporter just asked. He says, why do you think the offense was so disjointed today? I missed the game, Fever Nation. I was at work. I had a good excuse. But what I want to hone in on is what the players thought and the questions that they're being asked. What people saw, they saw with their eyes. And when you listen to this interview and the answers, I want you to pay close attention to how they're responding to what they're saying. Now, the reporter said, why was the offense so disjointed? And let's get into it.
It felt good to be out there. I thought we started really well. I thought we were competitive. I thought we played with energy in the first 5 minutes. And then, when they kind of went on their first run, it kind of deflated us a little bit, which I'm not really sure why. But the offense, I think, for us, it starts on defense. And we, struggled, scouting report wise. We struggled personnel. We struggled to do what the coaches asked of us. And then, overall, we just played with more energy and effort. And, those are the things that just can't happen. So, it's every single person on our team, and, nobody played well today. And, you should look yourself in the mirror and find ways where you can get better and come back to practice tomorrow and then play again on Friday.
I want you to pay attention to Clark's demeanor. You all know how she moves in interviews. You all know how the bubbly personality she has no matter what the circumstances are. She's normally even keeled. But in this interview, I'm not a psychologist. I just play one on YouTube. She's not facing the camera. She's not looking into the camera. There's something going on here that she's just being a professional about. I think the team did not respond well to Lexi Hull being benched. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all it is. It was an experiment by Coach White to start Ari McDonald because of her ball handling ability and to lessen the load on Caitlin Clark bringing the ball up the floor and being beaten one game after the other. That's all Coach White was trying to do. So for those of you really going in on Coach White, dial it back, okay? Coach White is trying to get the team, not just Clark, but the team through the season, to the playoffs. The key is to get to the playoffs healthy. Keep that in mind.
Caitlin, how do you feel from a conditioning standpoint? And then for Lexi, defensively, why do you think you all were so disjointed that maybe led to some of those, 3-point shooting for them, really?
Now, this is a different reporter, but he mentions the same buzzword, disjointed. Even he is pointing out how disjointed the team looked and played. Now, Lexi and Caitlin are going to be professionals. Caitlin is the consummate professional. We all know how Caitlin operates in interviews and post-game press conferences. She's the consummate professional. She's not going to say anything to rock the boat. She's not going to put her or her team, or her coach for that matter, in a position to rock the boat. So keep that in mind. This is the second reporter asking a similar question to the same players. The team was not themselves today. Why was that? Because Lexi Hull was coming off the bench. Sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, some people think it's broke because they're panicking. No, you just have to work your way through this. The best move was to bring, like the team had been doing, like Coach had been doing, bring Ari off the bench. Let Caitlin get it started, and then you're going to sub her anyway because she can't play the whole game because of conditioning, as she keeps pointing out in this interview. So Coach White is learning how to manage her team. This is the first year she's with the team. You got to give her space to make mistakes too. Anybody that doesn't make mistakes is not doing anything. The only people that are not making mistakes are people that are not doing anything.
Yeah, it's going to take me a second to get my win back. Like I said, there's not really anything that can replicate it than a true game. And, I felt pretty good. I was trying to play, shorter stints, but, sometimes it's almost harder to sit on the bench and then come back into the game. So I was just kind of finding a balance of that. But just trying to get my legs under me there in the fourth quarter and get my win back a little bit, which will come over the next few games. But, yeah.
I would say defensively, Caitlin kind of mentioned it. Our coaches do a great job of giving us scout on every player, and I think collectively we didn't do a good good job at taking away the stuff that their team likes to do and making them do things they don't want to do. We didn't do a good job of that. We also gave up some timely offensive rebounds that they do a great job of kicking it out, getting open looks, getting open threes late in the game. I think it really just comes down to effort and us not locking in mentally and following the scouting report.
What you just heard was Caitlin and Lexi taking ownership of what they did not do and what the team did not do as players. In other words, they didn't respond well to the coaching change that Coach White made by bringing Lexi Hull off of the bench and starting Ari McDonald to give Caitlin a breather and also for long-term health reasons for the rest of the season. You're not going to know unless you try. Keep that in mind. She tried it. It didn't work. Let's move forward. Give her a pass, people. At least she's trying to do something. You can't run one style of offense the entire season. People are going to start picking up on that. Like I heard today, they were getting blitzed was the term I heard in other YouTube content creators episodes. They were getting blitzed, and the team didn't respond well to that. Now that they know how some teams may respond to them, let's see what they can do to counter that.
Kind of off that note, Lexi, you guys had such a great week last week with, the big wins, and then having some of these losses recently. Do you feel like that's just a matter of inconsistency when you kind of look at like what you guys are capable of and kind of where you are at right now, and how do you guys, is it going back to that effort and that energy that you feel like is the biggest difference between like where you guys are at your height and where you are like right now?
For sure. I think, our team, we have a lot of inconsistency. We raise to the occasion when we're playing for 30,000, and then we need to bring that level of focus and that level of energy every single day. It's really hard to win in this league, and we need to focus every game because all of these games matter when September, October comes. So it's really just going to come to us, and we really need to regroup, turn the page, learn from this, and come with a better mindset on Friday.
You heard it for yourself, and I'm not going to drag it or make this a long video. Regroup, come back to the table Friday with a new mindset. Sit down, talk to all the leaders, the captains of the team. Sit down and talk with the coach. Have a team. You can't keep having team meeting after team meeting to get during the season. But someone needs to have a conversation with Coach White and just say, hey, look, it didn't work. If you don't mind, keep Lexi in the starting lineup and let's bring Ari off the bench and introduce her into this equation slowly. To throw her into the starting lineup with Caitlin coming back, I think was a little bit too much for the team to manage, and it did not go well. They tried their best to play it off, but as the game progressed, the thought of what was really happening was sinking in, and it got the best of the players. They weren't able to focus. The players were not able to focus on anything. You hear disjointed, not locked in. You hear all these terms that point to distractions. Today's game, today's coaching decision to put, and it's not anything personal about Ari. Today's coaching decision did not sit well with the team because you were sitting a starter. Again, I don't know if a coach said this or I just made it up. You change your rotation of the players as you bring them in and out of the game. You don't change your starting lineup unless something dramatic has taken place. Like Ari is like shooting 70-80% from the field. Lexi is unproductive, which was not the case. You sat down a productive player. You put a productive player defensively and offensively on the bench to bring in what, by and large, was an experiment. Learn from it, Coach White. Grow from it, Fever Nation, Fever Team. And let's move forward and bounce back Friday with the dub. That's all I have for you. I'm out.